So first of all, a very good morning and a very warm welcome team to the TriTech software training program. So this training program is for the Oracle Fusion Financials Cloud team and it is conducted by TriTech Software Training Institute. And I'll start again with the same and the foremost thing, which is how to land upon a high paying job as a beginner without coding knowledge and without IT background, right? So this is the one of the very important objective of this training program. And also this is a no coding required training program, which means that we even with or without the coding knowledge, especially for the freshers who don't have the coding background and non-IT background. So even without this, experience even how we are going to learn the overall application, how to configure the application, software application, how to utilize the application, how to work on the best business practices in order to use the financial cloud application. That is something we are going to learn in the upcoming next 3 months, right? Now, team, a quick introduction about myself as we have new students coming in today. So my name is Abhishek Kumar. I'm an Oracle certified implementation specialist. I already have like 13 plus experience in terms of Oracle consulting. And during this tenure, I have implemented more than 10 plus projects and also done multiple support projects across multiple legislations. So I've worked for the US companies, I've worked for the UK legislation companies, I have worked in Singapore, Australia, and also in Middle East. Now, in terms of training, I have delivered more than 13 plus training programs, corporate training programs that were basically for the employees of the organization who are currently using Oracle Fusion Financials. And the core objective or the purpose of the corporate training was to enhance the skill set of the employees in order to effectively use the Oracle Fusion Financial application. Now, along with that, I've also delivered 20 plus training batches for my students who were willing to join the Oracle domain, who are looking for a job in Oracle domain, in Oracle Fusion Financial stream. So 20 plus batches were delivered, and many of our students, based on the training batches, are now working in multiple companies, including consulting companies and the end user companies. Right. So we'll see what is consulting companies, what are end user companies, and all in the upcoming slide, right? To give you a better understanding of how different companies work in this stream. Now, in terms of organization, I have worked with some of the big names here. I have worked with Deloitte, I have worked with PwC, EY, I have worked with Oracle and multiple other mid-sized companies I have worked with. And in terms of certification, so there is a certification program that is run by Oracle University, in which you can get certified in multiple modules. Modules means subject areas in terms of finance or any other subject area. So I'm an Oracle certified specialist. I have done multiple certification provided by Oracle University. Now, again, some of the quick do's and don'ts. So from our end, we are recording this meeting. Once the session is done, it will be uploaded on the official platform of the TriAttack, and the recording links will be shared with you so that you can use those links for your future reference. And also, during this session, we have a fixed agenda that we have to cover. So request all of you to keep yourself on mute during the session. At the end of the session, we have dedicated question and answer round where me along with my team will be very happy to assist you for any queries related to the product, related to the training, related to the career also, right? So feel free to post your queries during the session in the Zoom chat. We'll take it at the end of the session, and at the end of the session, we can also have one-to-one conversation and any offline conversation also that you want to have. So feel free to connect with the admin team. With this theme, let's begin with the agenda for today. So let's see what we are going to cover in today's session. Now, basically, this can be considered as an extension of the yesterday's session. Yesterday we had a demo session where we understood the overall concept of ERP, where what is ERP concept, under ERP, where Oracle fits in, what product Oracle has developed, what are the market position of this product, how the product look like in terms of various subject areas and all. So those concepts we have discussed in yesterday's session in detail. Now today we are going to cover some more topics in context to this training program. So we'll first look into the training outcomes. So what exactly we can expect out of this training program, especially as we have mixed match of population. We have the freshers who have recently completed their graduations and post graduations, their MBAs and all. And also we have the experienced consultant who are already working in the industry, may or may not be in the same platform, but who are also willing to learn Oracle Fusion Financial because they already know that this is the need of the day, highly demanding in demand across the globe, right? So that is where we are here to cover the Oracle Fusion Financial to have a deep understanding how the product works, how the product can be configured. So all those details will be covering in this training program, right? So the first thing here we'll be discussing in today's agenda is the training outcomes. So what kind of training outcomes we can expect out of this, right? So I've tried to summarize the point here so that at least from the fresher's perspective, you can have an understanding. So what is expected out of this training program, or once the training program is ended, what is the next way ahead after this? We'll also be having a discussion on the various work profiles. So again, here I have summarized various work profiles that are available in the market, not only in India, globally, that we can expect in terms of the job opportunities. Then also we'll have an understanding about the implementation company. So one of the point here is who are the companies who are involved in this execution of this project, or we can say who are the companies who actually use this product, which are the companies who provide these kind of services. All those things will be covering under this point. Now after this, what we'll be looking into is in the second half of this session we'll be looking into the aspect of the application, which means that we'll be having an access of the real-time application, we'll navigate through the application, we'll be looking into some of the key components of the application. So at least it is going to give you a look and feel of the application, that how the application looks like and what are the key components of the application, which we are going to cover in the upcoming session. So those things we'll be covering here. So in today's session, right? So that includes your enabling offerings, your security administration and understanding of the enterprise structure and all those things. Then followed by the question and answer round where any kind of queries will be looking into. Now, let's begin with the first point here, which is training outcome. So let's understand in a nutshell like what kind of outcome we can expect out of this training as a fresher, as an experienced student, or as an experienced user who are already working in one or other technology and now looking to learn Oracle Fusion Financials. So we'll begin with the first one. So first is product knowledge, right? So what is product knowledge? Uh, in this training program, we'll be, as I mentioned, we'll be covering the core modules, right? So when I say core modules, that means it is not only going to be the functionality perspective, but also the configuration perspective. We'll be building up the whole configuration right from the beginning. The approach we are going to follow is going to be real-time implementation, means what are the different stages of a project implementation, what are the inputs, what are the outputs, and what are the relevant documents. All those things will be covered here. And then based on that, what are the best business practices that are followed across the industry? Those things also we'll be discussing. So it is going to help you out to have an understanding on the solution side also. So it is not only like I know the configuration, I know the functionality. No, we'll also be discussing the solution aspect, what are the best practices, and industry wise what are the different options that are available in this application, how those are utilized, right? So those things will be covering in detail, in depth discussions will be there, and this is going to enhance your product knowledge as a fresher, as an experienced person. Yes, both the sides it is going to help you out. Now, again, I would like to highlight here is I'm not looking into a training program where I can tell you how to do the configuration or how to use the functionality. No, I'm looking into a training program where we can build a team of consultants who are ready to be deployed directly on a project, right? Because when we give the references to various companies, right? So understanding is the consultants which are trained from our side are the ones who don't further need additional training, who can directly be deployed on a project assignment. Now, it can be any project assignment, it can be implementation project assignment, or it can be a support project assignment. Uh, but the outcome here is each and every consultant should be trained enough that who can readily take on the available assignments and work on the product, right? Now, second point here is secure a job in Oracle domain, and that is one of the main objective of this training program because freshers and even experienced students who are connected with us are now willing to be a part of Oracle Fusion financial team, whether from the consulting company side, whether from the end user perspective, they want to secure a job, and that is where the overall focus is. And that's the reason why this practical based approach has been introduced. Now, third thing is upskill product knowledge, right? So this is also something which is important here. So many of the students who we have here in the batch or in the session have already worked either in the previous version of the Oracle, or they have also worked in the Oracle Fusion Financial, but up to a certain extent, maybe a limited to certain modules or certain functionalities. And now they want to upskill their product knowledge. They want to learn how the overall end-to-end cycle works, which means that how to begin from the scratch, how to build up an application, what are the different stages of the product, what are the inputs and outputs. So all the real-time implementation aspect is something they want to cover in order to upskill their product knowledge. What can be the outcome here? Once you upskill your product knowledge, so either you want to become a part of the implementation team or consulting team in terms of support, and that is where it is very much important to upskill your product knowledge to understand in depth that how the configuration is done, and based on configuration how the functionalities work, right? So that one-to-one relationship is something that you want to establish, and for that purpose it is important, and the program has been designed in that way where we'll be focusing on the configuration, and based on configuration, various business processes will be executed, and end-to-end life cycle means right from the configuration up to the functionality testing and reporting is something that we'll be covering here. Again, enhanced subject knowledge. Yes, one of the important points here because here as a consulting student, one of the thing is we'll be looking into the product in detail to enhance our subject matter knowledge. We'll be covering the practical based approach. Workshops will be there on a daily basis, as well as we'll also be covering the theoretical concepts here, right? So it is not going to be restricted only to theoretical or practical. Both will be covered here to give you a better understanding or in-depth understanding of the product. Now, last 2 points here. So one is learn about the end-to-end implementation cycle. So already I have mentioned the approach that we are going to use here is end-to-end implementation cycle. How we actually implement for a given business scenario is something that we'll be using here. I'll be giving you the understanding of each and every product stage. We'll be having detailed discussion on that, about the inputs, about the output, what is the Oracle methodology on the implementation of products. So that is what we'll be discussing here. And we'll understand and we'll move the whole training program in that context only, right? So that at the end of the training program, you understand how the implementations are done, and that is what is going to make you ready for the upcoming assignments. Now, prepare for certification. So these certifications, as you know, Oracle University offers certification courses, professional certification courses. So module-wise means a different subject area-wise. Under finance, we have different subject areas: general ledger, accounts payable, and all. So certification courses are available. Many of the students who are joining us already has an experience in Oracle Fusion or the other Oracle platform, and in order to enhance their resume also appear for the certification exam. So one of the question here is this training program is going to help us with the certifications? Answer is yes. And how it is going to help you out? The practical based approach that we are going to use here along with theoretical. So Just some FYI, I would like to give you here, team. So, before the certification exams, which were conducted by Oracle University, were more on the theoretical aspect. Multiple choice questions were there in the whole examination, and based on that only, you student used to clear this certification. Now, what Oracle has done, Oracle has changed the overall pattern. Now, the whole exam has been divided into two parts. One is the theoretical based aspect, which is the multiple choice question part, and other one is the practical based approach, where during the exam you are given the access of the application, access of the product, and you're given certain test scenarios, and based on the business requirement or test scenarios, you need to either configure the application or you need to test the functionality in a during the exams only, right? And based on that only, you clear your certification. And furthermore, in addition to that, it is mandatory to clear both the theoretical aspect as well as practical aspect during the certification exam, and that is where the course has been designed in a way so both the aspects can be covered so that students can even prepare for the certification exams, right? So hope this is clear, team. Now let's move to the next part, which is roles, right? So one of the important concept is like what kind of roles we can expect and where exactly we can expect these roles, right? So here I have mentioned some of the key roles. Now roles can vary from company to company, but these are some of the key roles that we can expect in the industry globally. But different companies may have their own naming convention for the various roles of job roles opportunities, right? That you may go through. Now, here I have mentioned the role names, and here I have mentioned three terms, which is vendor company, consulting company, and end user company. Right. So, what is vendor company? What is consulting company? What is end user company? That is also something important to understand. So, let's understand here. So, let me quickly move to the next slide to give you a brief understanding of this, and then we'll move back to the previous slide and we'll understand what is the aspect here. So basically, there are three different types of organizations which are involved, right? Broadly, three different types of organizations that are involved in the execution of a project. So we have vendor company, we have consulting or partner company, we have end user company, right? So who is the vendor company? The company who has developed and deployed the product, which is Oracle Corporation in US. Then what Oracle has done as it has developed the product, it needs various companies who are in partnership with Oracle who are experts in industry-wide solutions. So why cannot Oracle directly can implement for the end user company? Because the major focus of Oracle is in the development and deployment of product. Right, so it is not something like where Oracle has already developed the product, it has done its job, now it is giving the product to the end user company. It is continuously evolving the product as per the latest technology, as per the latest dynamic business scenarios, right? So more focus is on the development and deployment of the product, upgrading the product, right? Whereas these consulting companies and partner companies are those companies who are in partner with Oracle, who are licensed to implement the product on behalf of Oracle to the end user companies. Who are the end user company? Who are the actual users of this product? Who are implementing this product in their company so that they can manage their day-to-day business affairs in the product. Right? Product means the software product, Oracle Fusion Financials. Okay. Now, some of the example of the partner companies, some big names I have mentioned here, but there are many, many partners across the globe who are partnered with Oracle. Many companies, it includes the big names, mid-sized companies, and even small-sized companies who are partnered with Oracle and to implement the Oracle Fusion Financial. Some of the renowned names here, team. Accenture, we have Cognition, Deloitte, IBM, Infosys, PwC, TCS, Wipro, and even Oracle is involved in the consulting. It is involved in the product implementation. So one of the companies, Oracle itself also. So it is not like that Oracle is only going to implement, but along with these partner companies, even Oracle has a separate branch or you can say separate wing who are into application implementation. Right, and end user company. Some of the renowned names who are actually using these products, Oracle Fusion. So we have Bharti Airtel Limited, we have Bajaj Alliance Life Insurance Company, SBI Cards, Uber, Zoom, FedEx, globally, all these are global companies, Mazda, Bosch, and multiple other. So even a list of various companies. Some big names are mentioned on the Oracle official website, so that can be also taken from there. Right now, important aspect here is when I say the rules, right? So here I have used these check boxes against vendor company, against consulting company, against the end user company. So first is implementation consultant role. So this is a part of the consulting team as an implementation consultant. Once you know the details of the product, once you understand the product, once you know how to configure the product and deliver the solution to the business, so that is where you can look into a job role in the vendor company itself. So when I say vendor company, means Oracle itself. Oracle has a separate company who are responsible for doing the implementation, and that is not only restricted to India. Across the world, it is available. Each and every country, it has its presence where it maintains separate implementation company. Right. So whether you talk about the US, you talk about the US, you talk about the Middle East, you talk about India and Asia Pacific region. So yes, Oracle has its presence globally. Then even consulting companies. So that's the main role of the consulting company. They implement the projects for various companies, right? So that is where majority of the job opportunities you can expect in multiple consulting companies. So more than 200, 300 consulting companies are there, and even the number is high on a higher side only across the globe. So and every year, multiple companies they come in, they partner with Oracle for the implementation of Oracle Fusion, right? So this is where majority of the job opportunities that you can see where you want to be a part of the consulting company. Now, along with that, what I have mentioned here, team, is end user company, right? So, what is end user company? All these companies who are actually using the Oracle internally, they also maintain the implementation consultant team who are responsible for looking after the overall application, bringing in new features, bringing in new subject areas, configuring as per the business requirements. So, internal team management is also done by the end user company, right? So, where they implement directly on behalf of the end user company. Right. So that is where multiple end user companies time to time they give you the job opportunities. Uh, they publish the job opportunities based on their requirement. Now, same way where we have the implementation consultant, we also have the support consultant because any of the product which is already implemented cannot be single-handedly run. That needs time to time support from the consulting team or from the finance consultants. So in that case, even vendor company has that role kind of role available where you can work on a support project means for those companies where the product is already in use to support for their day-to-day requirements. Then same thing is available with the consulting company also. Same thing is available with the end user company also. Any of the end user company they maintain their own internal support teams. Now one of the latest edition, not very latest, but from the past few years, this has been one of the trending roles in terms of Oracle Fusion, which is product testing consultant. So what happens is there is a consulting company, there is an end user company, right? What consulting company does, it implements on behalf of end user company, where end user company has taken the subscription from Oracle that will be using your product. But the consulting companies come into picture because these companies are industry-wise experts. They have industry-wide experience in latest practices, business practices. So they implement on behalf of the end user company. Correct. Now, what happens is one of the trending role is product testing consultant. What has been delivered by the consulting company to the end user company needs to be tested, whether it is meeting the industry-wide standards or it is meeting the business requirement in the right way that was expected by the business. So for that purpose, there is a role which is called product testing consultant, which is a third party which is hired only for the purpose of testing the application, whether the application is as per the business requirement or not, right? So somewhere here it is going to fit in the hierarchy, right? So these are also nowadays one of the popular rules. Many of the companies you see, Infosys, Wipro, and all, they hire only for the purpose of testing consultants. Means once they are hired, they are deployed on the project where the product is being implemented, is tested thoroughly based on the consulting company, whatever solution company has delivered consulting company. Okay. Then the fourth one, which is not last and not the least here, which is freelancer and contractor. So you see, uh, Any industry wide you see nowadays there is a role which is freelancing or contract basis job. So that is also one of the ongoing trending roles in terms of Oracle Fusion Financials, where if the consultant don't want to be a part of any company as an employee, then also he can work as a freelancer, as a contractor, where multiple job opportunities are available directly in the market, where the business is looking for freelancers, for contractors, for implementing the product, for providing support to the existing product that has been implemented, right? So even nowadays, for specific assignment, even vendor companies hire the hire the consultants on the basis of freelancing and contractual basis, right? Where for a specific assignment, the consultants are hired, the consultant works on those assignments, and there are plenty of opportunities in this area also which is available. Same way with the consulting company. Every time they don't look for employees, sometimes they also look for freelancing and contractor kind of opportunity for delivering the specific assignment. And even end users. So this is on the higher side on the end user company where let's say the product is already been implemented now for a specific assignment. The end user company is looking for some professional expert in terms of consulting. Then they may also go for freelancer on contractor services instead of going into the actual employee hiring. Correct. And especially after COVID, these kind of opportunities are pretty much into uh, demand, where remote working opportunities are in terms of freelancer contractors are there, right? The majority you see the US based companies, end user companies, or UK based end user companies, they hire the freelancer contractors from India to work on their project requirements. So there also you see these kind of opportunities. Right. So hope this role part is clear and is giving you an insight that what kind of job opportunities we can expect, under what company we can expect, and that is something which is going to help you to understand the overall benefit of this training, right? And believe me, and even just Google it out or just go on LinkedIn and search for the role of Oracle Fusion Financial. You'll see the demand, how much this kind of opportunities in training, right? Now, with this theme, let's move to the second part of this session where let's have an understanding of the application. Let's see how the application looks like, what, what are the key components of the application and all. So for that purpose, let me move to the working file with me here. So team, as mentioned, this is a cloud-based product, right? It's a web-based product. So what you need an application, or you need first you need a device, you need internet connectivity, and what you need the login credentials, right? So anytime when you start working on an application, these are the three things that you'll be requiring. One is your URL, which you are going to use to access the application, to navigate to the application, the corresponding user ID and password, which is basically your credentials, and based on that you are going to access the application. So let's navigate to an application. So we have an application here. What I'll do here, let me put it here. So I'll just enter the URL. All right, so once you enter the URL, right, now I'm already signed in, so let me just sign out and show you how it looks right from the beginning. Now, when you enter the URL here, this is how you're going to land on the landing page where you have Oracle logo, you have the username, you have the password. So what you need to do here is you need to enter the credentials here. So let me enter my credentials, enter the password, and once you enter the password, click on sign in, and that's it. That's how easily you can sign in into an application. And this signing in into the application is available from the very first day, whether you're working on a product, implementation product, or you're working on a support product project. So first thing that you need to ask to the admin team is to provide your signing credentials to access the application, and based on the credentials you'll be able to access the application. This is the first thing that we need to do, right? Now, as and when we are able to sign in into the application, this is how the screen would look like. Now, the theme may be different, color combinations may be different. This is something that can be personalized as per the business requirement. So it's not a single color theme which is available. Multiple color themes are available, and business can get it as per their business requirement. Now, this is how it looks like. On the left hand side, you have a logo. This is Vision logo because this is a Vision instant. Same way, if you're working for any company, company may have their own logos available on the extreme left and top side corner, right? Then you have some of the icons which are available here. Then some of the icons which are available here. You can navigate from left to right, right? And then you have various options available here. Each icon is representing some kind of module, right? Module means the subject area that we are going to use. Now, for example, here we have general accounting as one of the subject area that we are going to cover in this training. Cash management is one of the subject area. Fixed asset is one of the subject area. And similarly, multiple other subject areas are available. Now, what you need to understand here is as and when I'm going to have the access of the application, am I going to have the access of all the subject areas, or they are going to they're going to be left some limited subject area? Is it something which is a controlled thing? So the answer is yes, it's a very controlled thing, it's a restricted thing. Any user will be having the access of only the subject area which has been assigned to him, right? So when you say assigned to him, what does it mean? There is a concept here which is called security. So security is maintained, and in order to maintain the security, the concept which is used is role-based security. So as a user, I'll be able to access only those subject areas for which I have been assigned the roles. For example, these are the modules that we have, okay, in the training. So we have general ledger module. We see what is general ledger, what is accounts payable, accounts receivable, fixed asset, cash management. So now the thing is, let's say user A is responsible for doing the general ledger. User B is responsible for doing the payables along with user A. User A also does general ledger and accounts payable. Same way user A also does cash management. Whereas the other users, user C do receivables, user D do fixed asset, user E do cash management along with A and C. So now what is going to happen here is we need to assign the roles of general ledger to user A, accounts payable to user A, and cash management to user A. And in that case, this particular user will be able to access cash management, accounts payable, and general ledger. So it is a role-based security that you have. Provide role to the respective user on the basis of their job profiles. Means if the user is responsible for doing only one module, then he will be able to access only that one module. Will not be able to access any other module which has not been assigned to him through roles. Now, what is our end of the story? Our end of the story is as the implementation consultant will be working, right? So as an implementation consultant, we should be having access of all the modules, and that is where we'll make sure that the required roles has been assigned to the user account so that we can access all these modules. But this is what I'm discussing from the business perspective, where specific users do specific tasks, they're responsible for handling specific module. So that is something where we can govern it through the role concept. Okay. Now, this is the user ID password that we have seen, basic navigation we have seen. Now, let's focus on some of the important aspect here. So the first thing here is on the extreme right hand side, we have something called settings and actions. So if you go to the setting and action, the first thing we are able to see here is sign out. Okay. Then we have some of these different icons which are available. Now, user wise, based on the roles and roles assigned, these icons may be, you'll be able to see all these icons, or you'll be able to see some of these icons, totally dependent upon what are the user roles that has been assigned to your user account. Now, the first thing here that is very important is about this application, right? Just click on this and you'll be able to see something like this. Okay. So let's try to understand this or decrypt this, what is this piece of information and what it stands for. So in order to understand this, I would like to make you understand the upgrade policy which is adopted by Oracle here. So what happens is the product is already developed in and deployed in the year 2011. But if you see here closely, that right from the 2011, every year, every month, the requirements, the business requirement changes, right? New practices being deployed, new processes are being deployed globally, and this application is not specific to specific region or not specific for a specific industry. It has been designed where it can meet the business requirement of multiple regions of multiple industries. Correct. So it's a global kind of product. Now, in order to make a global product, it is very important that the product should be upgraded with the latest applicable features and functionalities. Correct. And latest changes in the technology should also be adopted as a part of the product. Right. So, in order to make sure that your product is at par with the latest technologies and business processes, Oracle follows a policy which is called quarterly upgrade policy. Right. So for this purpose, what Oracle has done, Oracle is using the calendar year starting from January ending to December, and it is following four quarters. First is Jan to March, April to June, July to September, and October to December. Now let's say these quarters has been denoted by this naming convention. So first quarter is A, then you have B, C, and D. Now second is year, right? So year is represented like this: 2021, 22, 23, 24, 25. Now, if you go and understand this information, what is mentioned here is 25, which means that year 2025, D means quarter 4, October to December. So now we are sitting in the month of November, which is quarter 4 of 2025. So this particular release or this particular release of the application or version of the application is representing that this belongs to 2025 version D, means it's already been upgraded as per the latest application quarter. So we are in the fourth quarter of 25, application is upgraded. That means no more upgrades in this current quarter. It is the latest version of the application that we are using. Correct. Now this can be just an FYI thing, but this is very important to understand, especially when you're working in a new application environment as a consultant. So the first thing that you should be doing is to understand what is the upgraded version. Are we working on the latest upgraded version, or we are expecting an upgrade which is going to be there in the upcoming days, right? So that is something which is very important to understand, right? So this is the latest one. Now let's understand the other piece of information. So 11 got 13. So what happened here is the product was introduced in the year 2011 to the open market. So that is where always you'll see 11 mentioned in any of the product version. Then 13. So in the year 2011, release 1 was introduced, later on release 2 and 3, 4 quarterly, and then in the year 2017, there was a release which was known as release 13. So at that point of time, all the majority of the bugs that were there in the application were resolved, right? So initially, when any application is introduced, there can be different bugs, missing components and all. So companies work hard to get those fixed. And in the year 2017, when it was finally achieved, all the major bugs and upgrades were done. So at that point of time, release 13 was there, and that release 13 was made started, right? And that is where you'll be able to see this 13 is going to be there on each and every application version 11 and 13. Then followed by 25, which represents the year only. The month 10 is the month in which the application got upgraded. If it was 11 here, that means November. 10 means October. Correct. And dot zero means it's the first version only. So generally one upgrade is introduced in a given quarter. But sometimes, not nowadays, but before it was that sometimes there is some bugs that is there in the uh, application upgrade, and that has to be immediately removed. So multiple versions can be there, like dot 0, dot 1, dot 2, and so on. Correct. But this is how you understand the overall versioning policy of the Oracle uh, based on the quarterly upgrade. So always make sure that you have the latest version of Oracle Fusion. In case you don't have, then you can understand based on these version details that any upgrade which is already due, which is going to be there in the upcoming days, right? So important piece of information here we have. So that is the first thing that always I recommend to check. Then the next thing here is set preferences. Okay, so whenever you get your user ID and password from the very first time, also check the set preferences part, right? You don't need to remember, just some basic things. So whenever you're having the application, you'll also be able to see these things here. So under this, various options are applicable. So the relevant option is one is this one, which is change password. From here, you can change your password if required. This is the one which is going to be next one, regional preferences. So by default, you'll be able to see the time zone, right? The territory for your user account is fixed to United States, right? So this is where I can make the changes as per the business requirement. If I'm implementing in India, I can have my region selected in India, so the time zones and everything will be as per the IST and all, right? And then I have the date format. So multiple date formats are available here. So how I want the date to be to look like in the application, right? So these are the formats, and this is how the output should look like, right? So based on my user convenience, either I can fix that. Sometimes what happens, business fix this information. They say, okay, we follow this date format, so fix this for each and every user. So that is also something that can be done. Then you have the time format, how you would like to see the time in the application for various processes and all. So is it going to be 12-hour format, or it is going to be 24-hour format, hour, minute, hour and all. Then number format. So how would you like to see the number formats in the application, because we'll be dealing in financials, so the different formats are there, right? Different countries, different regions follow different formats. So the multiple formats which are followed are available here. So just very basic things which can be done here, which is not going to impact the working aspect, but which is actually going to impact the overall presentation of data. Then default currency here. So default currency doesn't mean that in this currency we are going to do the accounting and all. This is just for the notification, that by default any notification within the application we receive. So this is going to be the default currency for that purpose. Uh, what is notification and all, that is something we'll be covering in the upcoming sessions. And then you have the time zone, that what kind of time zone that you follow, and based on that the time will be visible in the application, right? So we can use the time zone. So I think this is plus 5:30 for India, so I can use here IST time zone. Now, generally, what details you select here in terms of territory and the time zones and all. So basically, it depends upon in which region project I'm doing. If I'm working on a US-based project, then I can use those details. If I'm working on UK-based project, I can use those details. India-based project, I can use those details, right? So set preference is under regional is one of the important aspects that you should be taking care on the very first day when you are using the product, right? Now, this is the basic part here, the navigations and all. You have this, then you have this find out options, setting and actions. Under this, we have seen about this application. Then we have seen the set preferences. Now, let's also look into
Abhishek, I have a question. Regarding the regional settings that you have just set the regional settings. So just wanted to ask that is this something that admin should be doing it for us, or is it as a user we can change those settings as per the business requirement?
both the sites it is possible.
Both the sides it's possible, but how do we do it? Like admin sets it, or do we do
We'll,
it at
we'll,
your end?
we'll discuss. We'll discuss. So when we look into the user-related aspects, we'll discuss at that point of time, like what are the general practices which are followed here, right?
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. In a moment. All right. So now let me also take you some other components of this application team here. So this is the home icon. We have it here. Other icons will explore as and when applicable. So anytime when you are on any of the application page, you are on some page on the top of the screen, you'll always see this home icon. So when you click on this, it is going to pull you back on the home page of the application. Okay. Now let me take you on the left hand side, which is the navigator, right? So this is the navigator screen. Whatever options are present here on the home screen, left to right, same is available in the vertical format here, right? So if you see, you have receivables here, same you have receivables here also, correct? You can click on the receivables and then you'll be able to see options here. Okay, so this is more on the vertical format. This is on the horizontal format that we have here. Now, one of the important aspect of the application is to understand how to create a user account. So there is something called Oracle Identity Manager under which we create the user account. So the general practice is that you'll be provided with a user account by the admin team, that this is your user credentials, URL, ID, password, and all. But in case as a consultant, you want to create your own user, or let's say as a consultant, you're responsible for creating user account for multiple users. So in that case, how that can be done, let's also have an understanding of that part. So here we have something called tools. Under tools, we have called security console, and multiple times we'll be accessing this page during our training program. So that is something at a given point of time, it will be easy to understand, right? So there's no need for now to remember, recall each and every navigation. This is just FYI. As and when we are going to proceed in this training program, we'll again and again we'll be using these navigations, and at that time will be more familiar to. So under security console, if you go here, so we have a screen like this where we have roles, we have users here. Correct, correct. So by default, the first screen is selected, which is role. What we need to do, we need to go to the users here, and then there is an option called add user account. Correct. So this is the first thing that we are going to do in case we want to create a new user account. So let's say as an admin user, we have the admin credentials, and now the admin want to create the user account for multiple users. Or let's say I'm the person who's responsible for the execution of project. I'm the lead consultant. I want to create a user account for multiple uh, team members that I have in the execution of the product. So in that case, I can use this navigation to create user account. So click on add users here, team. Then on the right hand side, there is some information that we need to fill here. So if you see here, we have first name, last name, email address, phone, username, password, confirm password, all those options. And some of the field here is single asterisk mark, star mark, which is here. So any such field where you have this kind of icon means it's a mandatory field. You cannot skip those fields. You have to provide information in the respective fields. For example, last name cannot skip. Username, password, confirm password. I cannot skip, but I can skip the first name in case not their email IDs and phone number in case it is not there. So let me put some details here. Let's create one user account here. So let's say Abhishek Kumar, right? So by default, what system does? System creates a user in like this, Abhishek.Kumar. So first name dot last name, right? If you want to change it to something else, which is also possible. Now let me give a password here. All right. So once this is done, I can save and close, and my user account is going to be created, right? But if I create a user account like this, only the user account will be created. There will be no kind of access that I'll be having here, because as I have mentioned, all the access means all the functionality access are subject to the roles, right? So here I have an option to provide the roles also. So two things I can do. I can save and close this one. My user account will be created, or I can even add some required roles which is required on the first day as an implementation consultant, so that I can access various options available in the application. So the first thing here is what kind of role initially I'll be requiring. So the very first thing I'll be requiring here is access for doing the configuration, right? So there is a specific role which is there to give you the access for doing the configuration. So I'll add that role here. So this is something which we need to generally remember. The role name is application implementation consultant, right? So if you see here, application implementation consultant role, select the role here and click on add role membership. Okay. Once you're done with this, right, my application implementation consultant role has been assigned. What is going to happen based on this role? I'm going to able to access the setup part or the configuration part of the application, right? So I'll just save and close this one. So this is how the user account is created. So now we have learned how to create a new user account. Now the question here is, are all the students are supposed to create a user account? Generally, no. The admin team is going to provide the user account credentials and you can use it for your practice purpose. But in case you would like to create your own user account, then that is where you can create your own user account and use the application. Now my user account has been created. So let me do one thing. Let me access using that user account, right? So let me go back, open a tab here. I'll be entering the URL here. So once am on the navigation page, sign in page, I'll be entering the information. So username is Abhishek Kumar, password. All right. Now have entered the credentials. Now I'm on the landing page here. Let me go on the home icon here. Let's see what are the details that I have. Some of the basic options. And this is my account, Abhishek Kumar. And now I'm able to see something which is called setup and maintenance. And this setup and maintenance is the navigation for doing the configuration. Okay. So if I don't see, so by default, generally what happens when you create the user account without any role, you'll not be able to see the setup and maintenance icon. Only thing you'll be able to see is setting and actions about this application and few other options like set preferences and all. Correct, but you'll not be able to see setup and maintenance. But maintenance purpose, you need to have the access of the role, which is application implementation consultant. Once you have that, click on setup and maintenance here, right? And then you'll be able to see certain options here, setup components here, including financials and all, right? What are these? These are the various subject area which is available in the single ERP application that can be configured, right? We have financials, we have procurement, we have human capital management. All those subject areas are available here. Now, what happens here is there might be a chance where when you're accessing the application for the very first time, you may not be able to see any component here. Just set up here, nothing is visible here. That can be there, and in that case, what you need to do, you have to go to actions, go to offerings, and then you'll be able to see a page like this where you have multiple options available in the application. Now let me explain you what are these options, how it can be utilized. So I need to tell you something for FII here. So this application is an ERP application. All the subject area which is supported by ERP applications are available here. Now what you need to do here is what Oracle does is by default gives you all the access, means all the different subject areas which are available in the application are available to you in the URL or in the server. Now what happens here is only enable those options which as a business you have subscribed. Let's say the business is into financials, then only the financial should be enabled here. Other options should not be enabled here because of the reason. pay, there's a concept called pay as you use. So whatever you are going to use, you are going to configure and use in terms of functionality, only those subject areas needs to be enabled. So it is not going to be the case where each and every customer, Oracle itself is going to give you the access. Oracle has extended all kinds of access. You have to only configure and use the one that you wanted to use, or which is there in the scope of your uh, project, or in the scope of the product with Oracle, right? So whatever subscription that you have taken, only enable this. So for example, I have done financial subscription. So what I'll do, I'll select it here, and there is an option called opt-in features. So I'll click on this, and then in that case, once the screen opens here, right? So all the options, all the modules which are available in terms of financials will be available here in terms of list. So as of now, all has been enabled already. So those is not available here, but yeah, now it's available. So if you see here, these are the different areas: supplier, tables, payment, cash management. These are different modules, right? So as a consultant, what you need to understand, you have to understand from the business perspective what all modules are applicable for them, and then enable those modules from here, right? So click on this and enable these modules, and then you can use those modules, correct? Now, is it something which is very critical and then you need to take care? The consultant need not to take care. This is something which is done through the admin user on the very first day of the project, when the application is extended to you or it is being shared to you. Before that also, only it is already done. But as a consultant, as a consulting team member, we should be knowing from where these features are governed, right? What we need to do in order to enable or disable these features, right? That is something which should be there as a part of your understanding also, correct? So, uh, majority of the cases you'll see everything, these options has already been enabled by the admin team. You'll be able to see options like this. So if I want to do financial configuration, I'll be able to see the list of values, financial options here, and then various subject areas of financial for which the configuration needs to be done. Those will be available here, right? So in case it is not available generally, then you should also be knowing as a consultant how to do that, right? It's a very easy to do thing, right? Just go to the offerings, enable these options available, and how I as a consultant will know what are the options that I need to enable. Generally, there is something called scope document from the business side, where business clearly mentions that these are the modules that we have subscribed from Oracle, and these are something we are going to use. So easy to do thing. Proper documentation is there based on that. So we need not to apply our mind that we have to enable this or that. Always it's properly documented thing which is there. Now, this placeholder, what is this? This is the placeholder from where all the configurations can be done. So we will from the next session we'll see one by one in the regular classes how the configurations are done, what are the key aspects in terms of solution designing and all, and will be doing these configurations. So we'll be building up an application right from the scratch. We'll understand all the aspect of the application, and then based on that we'll be testing various functionalities. Now, one of the very important point again I would like to highlight here is sometimes it is very difficult to track like how what has been configured, what has not been configured, or what tasks need to be configured one after another. What is the sequence that I need to follow, right? So those of you who have already worked with Oracle technology, Oracle platform, you know this is going to be a difficult task in terms of maintaining outside the application to this understanding that how this configuration can be managed. What I have done, how should I know? What is not done, how should I know? If multiple team members are working on the application, what has been done, completed, not completed, how to track that? For that purpose, there is a document that we follow effectively, which is called configuration workbook. So let me open that for you. So this is something that is developed from the TriTech side. This has already been tried and tested in multiple project execution, right? Various projects we have tried. Even we share it with our students. We tell them learn how to maintain this configuration workbook and use in your actual project implementation. So this is going to help you a lot, right? Uh, Instead of this, many of the students, not only students, many of the consultants, they follow practice where they take screenshot, maintain Word documents, which are not really that effective. This is going to be very effective mechanism for tracking configuration. So module wise, these configuration workbooks are available. Let me open that for you and let me show you what is the advantage of this. Right, so let's go to the index. Each and every task module wise that I need to configure in order to configure a specific module is available here. So I have to just follow this sequence of tasks here, and based on this sequence system, I'll be able to configure my modules respectively, right? So if you go here, I have this index, right? If you go here, same thing is mentioned here in the proper sequence along with the sample data, right? So these are the sample data which is there, and always what you do is like you prepare this data as per the business requirement. Once you prepare this, then you just need to configure these tasks in the application, and once the configuration is done, you're done. You can directly track it to the configuration workbook. So tomorrow, if there is any changes in the configuration that needs to be done, so I can first check directly off in offline basis in my Excel workbook. We call it as configuration workbook. That what was the configuration done. Now any changes can be tracked from here. I can make those changes here, and parallelly I can make those changes in the application. Right. So very easy way of tracking the or summarizing the overall configuration task, the sequence, everything is mentioned here. We'll be following this. We'll be having discussions around various topics and configuration related items, right? One by one, we'll be noting those down those configuration aspects. And also, there is something that we'll be doing in a live class, which is preparing the working notes, right? So in a given Excel, we'll be preparing notes on the daily workings that we have, daily discussions which we have, and those notes along with this configuration workbook will be shared on a timely basis so that even you can use as a document for your reference purpose for doing your offline practice after these sessions, right? So hope this is approach is fine, and this is going to be a very useful approach, this configuration workbook, and going forward also you can use it in your actual project implementation, right? So this is the approach that we are going to follow here. Hope this is clear, team. Now all the security, understanding fusion security, financial rules, and all this is something that we are going to study in detail in the regular classes, team, starting from tomorrow. And let me move to the next part here. So course features, again, let me repeat it for you, especially for the students who have joined today only. Duration is going to be 3+ months. Standard duration is 2.5 months. But as we have a lot of aspects to be covered as a part of this training program, so somewhere around 3 months, you can expect 70 plus hours of content will be having here. Practical based approach we'll be using here. Timings of the batch is going to be 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. IST Monday to Friday, and subject to availability of all the students, we can even plan for weekends, extended class if required, right? Otherwise, if students are not available because many of you are already in job and all, so in that case, we'll stick to the Monday to Friday schedule. Then each and every session is going to be recorded. Lifetime access of the video recordings will be there. So in future also, any concept that you want to refer back, you can use those videos on the shared on the Biotech platform. 5 month access of the server right from tomorrow will be there. So you'll be having 5 months straight access. So whatever being discussed in the class can be uh, immediately practice on a daily basis, and after the training also you'll be having the access. Now, along with that, Oracle repository access will extend the access. We'll see what Oracle repository is, what are documents which are there. All theoretical notes on the configuration side, functionality side are available there. So we'll be also be using that time to time as and when required. In terms of placement assistance, we will be so sorry, will be giving you team one-to-one doubt assistance, which means uh, mechanism will be there for where any doubts which is being faced by the students, they can directly communicate to our admin team or to me, and then we'll be responding at the earliest on those doubts. Or even we follow the practice where at the end of every session we have a dedicated question and answer round where you can ask your queries related to that particular session or any of the previous sessions, so those can be discussed in detail along with other students. Then real-time project assignment, this is going to be our approach for the overall training program. Whatever we execute in the real-time project implementation phase, all the phases will be covered here. All the details will be mentioned here. One by one, we'll be doing those configuration. Our admin team will be helping you out in the resume preparation, which is at par with the industry standards. So in case you need any assistance on that part, so that is also where we extend our support. Then we'll be helping you out in preparing for the interviews, question and answers. We'll be providing you with the sample interview question and answer that what can be expected here, or what are the general understanding from the interviewer point of view, from the business point of view, when they have these kind of opportunities and all, right? And then last and not the least, referrals. So we have tie up with various companies here, team. Uh, the one which are in the actual implementation, consulting companies and all. So time to time, when as and when they have their job opportunity released, we'll be sharing on the first priority with the TriTech team members, students, and due priority is given to the TriTech team, students who are trained from the TriTech. Because of the reason, once you're done with the training, you will be in a position where you can directly be deployed on a project. You can directly work on a assignment. Right. So it includes various full-time opportunities and even the freelancing opportunities, both for the fresher students as well as the experienced students, right? Now, regarding the early bird offer that was available for yesterday also only, but now today we have some more students and it was requested to extend this, so it has been extended for today. So I'll just explain the details here. So the training package is 25,000, but if you enroll as a part of the early bird offer, you can enroll for 22,999, and you can also avail the additional benefit of 2 months additional server access, which is worth for 6,000 for free. So that means now after this, if you enroll under this offer, then you'll be able to get the overall access of the server for next 7 months, right? So 5 months plus 2 months, right? Uh, the admin team has already shared the link in the chat. For any queries, do connect with the admin team. You have the official WhatsApp number listed here, so even you can connect offline using this number here. Right. Now, let me do one thing. Let me go through the chat option. Let me see some of the relevant questions. So I will take those questions. Let's answer those questions here. All right. Volume part, I'll take care of that part. Hi, when we'll get the instance link and password? Once you're completed with the enrollment process, the admin team is going to share the uh, credentials, right? So that credentials is going to include the server access, then also the platform access from where you can access the recording, and also official WhatsApp group will be created for all the students which are who have already done the enrollment. That of WhatsApp group will be used for all kind of official communications, all kind of sharing of various documents which are covered as a part of this training program. Okay. In each session, we are not allowed to discuss or ask questions. No, you're allowed to discuss and ask the questions. So normally, what we do, we have dedicated 1 hour sessions on every day basis, and what we do is like the last 5 to 10 minutes we keep spare for the questions and answers. So that is where we can do that, right? So it is not going to be the case that you're not supposed to speak. No, you can speak. The only recommendation that we give is each and every session being recorded. So it is always recommended that at the end of the session we park our questions and answer. So again, the same approach we can follow there. You can put your questions. If it's something related to specific topic in between, you can put it in the chat. And at the end of the session, we can take those questions one by one and we can have a detailed discussion, right? So it's not going to be the case like if we have only 10 minutes available, then we'll discuss within 10 minutes only. No, we can extend for the next 10 to 15 minutes, subject to availability of other students and all, right? So that is something we do, right? One-to-one doubt assistance means what? So one-to-one doubt assistance means, let's say you're doing the offline practice, means after the session you're doing practice and you're facing some kind of doubts, right? So then in that case, what you can do, you can connect with me through the WhatsApp group, right? So the practice that we follow here is post your query, any kind of error that you're facing, just share the screenshot, and then I'll be able to help you out, like what is the reason or how to get rid of the errors and all, right? So that is something which happens normally when you start doing the testing for the very first time. So those kind of assistance will be doing, right? And it is not going to be restricted that only the topics which were discussed in the class should be asked. Any of the previous sessions, any of the modules, and sometimes many of the students are already working in Oracle Fusion, right? Who are new to Fusion but already have the access of the Fusion and all. So they also have some real-time doubts in terms of their project requirements and all. So feel free to ask that also, right? I'll be able to help you out to the extent possible in that in those scenarios also. Can we check how many users have implementation consultant role being assigned? Okay, so generally the credentials that we'll be sharing with you will be having this role, implementation consultant role. If you asking this question in context to a specific business requirement, that is this something where we can check that how many users have this access of roles and all? Yes, reports can be generated on that basis, where we can generate the report, look into the roles that have been assigned to specific users, right? So that can be done. So I'm taking this that this is a specific business requirement. So if the answer, if your question is in that context, yes, that can be done. Can you mention the report name that I can check and I can give you that? So both options are available. One is serial report. In case serial report is not available, even we can use OTPI for the custom reports and any other reporting tool to get these kind of reports. All right. So I think the questions which are posted on the chat has now already been answered. So in case you have any other questions, also please feel free to unmute yourself and ask those questions. So I think we still have, it's already 8:50. So I can take one or two more questions here. Now, just a quick information from tomorrow, the meeting link is going to be changed. So updated meeting links are going to be shared with the enrolled students. So if you are not yet completed your enrollment, please complete it on the first instance, because based on that only the meeting links are going to be extended to you. So the tomorrow class will start from morning 7 to 8 sharp 7. It will start and will up to 8. It will go on. And these are going to be the regular classes. So we'll proceed with the post curriculum from there. Okay, so one quick question. Will the process document provided, or you want us to prepare the notes for every class? No need to prepare notes from your end. I'll be doing the notes for you. Each and every discussions that are going to happen, the notes will be prepared from my end. I'll be sharing those notes with you. You just need to attend the class, understand the concept. Any doubts, feel free to ask us. All right, team. So thank you, team. Thanks for joining and thanks for your time. So hope to see you tomorrow morning at sharp at 7. So thanks for joining the session. Thank you and have a great day.